Hello, 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 and this is the Real Agent P, and I'm coming at you with a tutorial on how to take apart, clean, and repair a PS4 DualShock 4 controller. Now, this particular one, the right button was bad, but we can fix that. And to start off, we have to take out these 4 screws on the back. This is what's actually holding the controller together. Just get yourself a little screwdriver and go to town. Now, I am using a little glass bowl. This is just to keep all the screws in place. And then once you have all the screws out, you can go along the seam and take a flathead screwdriver, like I'm using, to just kind of pop everything apart. Um, you want to be very careful about this. Just don't go to town, like really go whole hog on it, because you can end up damaging it. So you just got to be careful, just spread it. And once you get it to where you can spread it apart, be careful because the light bar is plugged in right into the circuit board. So you just want to gently take that out. Just pull straight out, boom, back is off. Just make sure that you don't get that end damaged, so that way, your light bar will still work. So now we can take out the battery, just unhook it, and it just pops right out. There's nothing holding it in there really, just kind of some friction. So in older models, that black piece that I'm pulling on will come out. This is a newer model of DS4, so you actually have to take out the screw to get the black piece out. But that is okay because you have to take out that screw anyway to get to the buttons and to get to everything that's on the front. So it needs to come out anyway. So I'm going to put that in my little glass bowl as well, just to make sure I don't lose it. Set the battery housing off to the side, and now I can pull everything out. Being very careful because there's a little plastic bar that goes right under the top of the touchpad. So as you can see, I'm kind of manipulating the touchpad as I'm pulling out on the circuitry to get it under that bar and out. So as you can see, it's also plugged in to the circuitry with one of those little push-in connectors. So this is the guts of your DS4. It's got all your analog sticks, your sensors for your buttons, the toggles and everything, your vibration control, everything's on this thing. If you do clean it, you do not want to use alcohol on it because you can damage it. So this is the piece that was actually causing the issue, and I'm kind of trying to show you guys where the issue is, but I'm bad at camera angles, so you can't see it. I did put up a video earlier showing the issue, and I had a video on Twitter as well, so you can see the actual issue there. But we have the replacement silicone pads that go over the buttons to make everything work. And as you can see, these are nice and shiny and bright and new and happy and not broken. So now I'm just going to take all the silicone pads off, discard the used ones, and keep the new ones. Now this does have ones for the trigger buttons as well. I decided not to change those out because that would be too much of a pain in the face. And it also has ones for the analog sticks as well. Again, decided not to change it out. So here I'm pointing out some gunk and grime that's just kind of gotten in there. It's just from, hand wear. It's not good, so we're going to clean it out. I am just going to be using some straight rubbing alcohol on a Q-tip, and we're just going to go to town on it, basically. Just clean it out. Once again, do not use it on the electronics at all. That can mess it up. Will it? Probably not, but there is that chance that you could short circuit something. So just better safe than sorry, especially when you're talking about, like a $60 controller. You don't really want to mess it up if you don't have to. So I'm going to also get a large pad and just kind of clean off the front, just getting all the little cracks and crevices and any kind of places that might be dirty, have anything accumulated in them, the button spots, just to make sure that this is all nice and clean, because since you have it apart, you might as well do this. Now, if you're wanting to do any kind of customizing, any painting, anything like that, this is the perfect time to do it because you have everything apart, everything cleaned up. You can use an acetone or fingernail polish remover or something like that on the face, but it will take off that clear top coating. So unless you are going to paint it, do not do that. If you're gonna paint it, then go ahead and do that, because then you can sand and prime and do everything to it that you need after that. But I'm also gonna get the buttons cleaned up. There's my GT Goku impression, just mashing that square button. Yeah, just getting everything once again cleaned up, ready to go. I have it apart. I might as well do it, right? So, yep, getting the insides of the D-pad here cleaned out. getting the back of it cleaned, just to make sure there's no more issues with it. So now that we've got everything cleaned, we're gonna do basically the reverse of what we just did. So we took it completely apart, so now we're gonna put it back together. So we start off with the front face. We're gonna put the buttons in. Now the buttons will only go in to each of their respective homes in a certain orientation. There's little tabs around the sides of the buttons that only let them go in one way. You can't mix and match. You can't put them in different spots. It just won't work unless you break off the tabs. But then you have no way of keeping the buttons in, so they'll just fall out. Um, so you're only gonna have them in one way, and you don't have to worry about messing them up. They're also color coded on the back, so if you think that you've got it messed up, then you know where you're going. I'm just going to take the little silicone pad that goes over that new one and put it in. Same thing with the PlayStation button. Now, I did have a little bit of an issue with the new PlayStation pad, the silicone pad part of it. It didn't quite line up with the dots or the pegs. I was trying to show you there the difference in the hole positions. So I had to use the old PlayStation silicone pad, but that's fine. I wasn't having any issues with that. It was the D-pad that I just put in, and now we got everything in. So we're going to take the electronics. I'm actually going to just kind of wipe down the touchpad with some alcohol, dry it off, and I'm going to use a dry pad to clean off the facings of the controller. Taking off the touchpad and to put everything on. It's just a lot easier this way. You don't have to mess with it. There's a little slot on top of the circuit board to where you put that cable back through. Hook everything back up. Put the housing back on. Screw it back down. Just doing a little initial test here to make sure everything's feeling right since the board's actually secured. Then put the battery back in. Clip the light bar back on. And just press everything together. So at this point, we're pretty much done. All we have left to do is put in all of the screws, and once those are in, we are back good to go. I did a button check and everything afterwards. Everything is working perfectly fine. So yeah, this is how you take apart, clean, and repair your PS4 DualShock 4 controller. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And hope it found it informative. So if you do have an issue like this come up, you don't have to spend $60 on a new controller. You can spend $5 on new silicone pads and fix it yourself. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. But most importantly, have a great day.